Welcome back. This is episode 19 of On Second Thought with Mike and Matt, being brought to you today on a crisp fall Sunday in New England, live with Matthew, post-Halloween. How we doing, sir?
Doing okay, and it is crisp here too. It's a rainy day here. Yesterday, I spent all day doing plenty of yard work, mowing leaves, cleaning out gutters, getting things kind of put away for wintertime. So it was quite an adventurous day yesterday. And today, perfect timing. The rain came today, and it's raining. Going to rain all day. It's a good day to just chill.
Well, that's good to hear. It is raining on your account. I'm looking at your weather. It is not raining here. It is a very sunny, cool, crisp day. 44 degrees out right now. Beautiful weather. And it's too bad I am home alone. Well, I'm not home alone. I'm with my youngest, my 11-year-old son, and my elderly dog. But the wife and kids are in Milwaukee, of all places, Milwaukee, to watch the Boston Celtics play the Milwaukee Bucks today.
That's awesome.
So, I hope they have a good time. But for me, it would have been a great day to get outside and, clean up the leaves or gutters and things like you mentioned. But my dog is of such the age, if I leave her, she has panic attacks because she has lost her hearing, and she'll defecate in the house. So we do not want that to happen.
Mm-hmm. No.
So me and her are just camping out on the couch. Yesterday played a lot of video games, which we'll talk about. And today we'll mix in the video games and the football and the basketball. So, go ahead.
Mike, we are dog watching ourselves. When I say we, actually Barb. We have a dog for a week. The
dog is back?
The dog is back. Yeah, came to us Thursday and is with us till this coming Thursday.
Oh, you didn't tell me about this. This is the one that brings its own playpen and everything, right? It sleeps in the playpen.
Yeah. Yeah, it's much bigger now. Well, not much, but it's bigger now. It doesn't have the fucked up paw anymore. At least the cast is gone and all that stuff. But it's still the same rowdy, wild dog as last time.
Nice.
Oh God, the cats hate it. The cats have been spending a lot of time down here in the basement with me.
Cats? You have multiple cats?
Yeah. Remember Noah?
Oh, that's right. How has that experiment gone? Good.
It's no longer Noah's cat. It's pretty much Barb's cat now. It's pretty much the family. Yeah. The cat wants nothing to do with Noah, but Barb. Yeah. So the other cat, I mean, they're tolerating each other.
Yeah.
So Tigger's okay. He's getting along with the other cat, and the other cat's kind of getting along with Tigger. The new cat's realizing that Tigger is, king cat around the house, so he kind of following in his footsteps.
Now, when you got this cat, it was a kitten, right? It's still a kitten?
It's still a kitten. Yeah, I mean, it's been a month maybe, but yeah.
Wow. It's like Wild Animal Kingdom over there. God damn.
I'll tell you what, Mutual of Omaha is coming here next week to shoot stock video.
Damn. Well, let's recap. How was the Halloween? Did the kids come by and say hello to the civil engineer and get their candies?
Yeah, it was good. It was unfortunately it rained. It rained on Halloween, but we still had a pretty decent turnout. We had instead of in the cul-de-sac, was in the garage handing out trick or treat candy. It's somewhat of a slower turnout, but more than what I thought came. So it wasn't too bad. It's good. Plenty of neat little costumes out this year. Lots of princesses. Seems like princesses are coming back in style. Lots of girls as princesses, and saw a couple cowboys. So it was neat. It was a good time. It wasn't bad.
We did the usual walking to the rich neighborhood, which is like two streets over, where I swear they must bus people in from other communities because I've never seen so many people. This was the busiest I've seen it in 7 years. It was a beautiful day too. It was like 75 degrees. So
man, nice.
And as I told you via text, I had to get a little rowdy with some of the high school kids. First of all, they're not in any costumes. They're just walking around as themselves with a pillowcase. And the pillowcase is like stuffed and puffed because a lot of these houses aren't outside in the end of their driveway. They're just putting a bucket out there. And what's happening? The kids are just pillaging the bucket and leaving nothing for the other little kids. And then they're, yelling vulgar stuff around children, which, I mean, it takes a lot to offend me, but I just feel like when you're around little kids, you shouldn't be yelling that stuff at the top of your lungs. So those two things combined, I was like already agitated. And then they started cutting. And I was like, is this what we're doing, guys? Are we cutting people? Is this what we're doing? And some kids were caught off guards. And then a couple kids, I think, looked at me and were like contemplating for a second. Should we just bundle this guy? And I was like, all right, here we go.
Yeah, I don't know how to feel about the putting the bowl out, and no supervision. I mean, that's you're asking for it, okay, for that to happen. I understand, civility and stuff like that, but if you want to do that, then you expect that to happen. Be out there with the bowl, sit out there, whatever.
Or come get the bowl and say, "Yep, our fault. Everybody took everything," and close up shop. Don't leave your bowl out there and people walk up to it and then are crestfallen when there's nothing in it.
Right. Yeah. Exactly. Yeah. Don't. Yeah. That's both people's fault there. I would never do that.
There was a lot of kids there, and I was talking to one homeowner, and I was like, "You got to build this into your yearly, planning, for your money." And but some people, I'm surprised. They know. I've talked to the homeowners there because I try to tell them, there's just guys there. I'm talking to them, and I tell them I live a couple streets over. A couple people. I think the homeowners are curious, like where people are from. They're like, oh, where you from? I'm like, oh, I live, next 2 streets over. I politely remind them that there's no sidewalks on my street and my driveway's a half mile long.
Yeah, private property. Don't come down.
And so I was like, yeah, you have to build this into your budget. And then I also want to talk to some of the guys and be like, come on, you're living in a friggin' $1 million mansion and you're giving out sample size candies. I'm not asking you to give my kids like full on candy bars, but can't we just get like the fun size? Like, what's up with these little trial, Oh,
so you're talking about the little cube size, dice size candies.
And then they're like, only take 2, please. It's like, fuck off.
I see. I hand the candy. I give them the candy. I don't let them pick out the bowl.
It drives me. My wife gets upset with me because I'm always like, come on, we're not a Target here. Just take 2 pieces of candy and move on. Why do we got to sit there and decide on what we want? Like, that's not the spirit of this thing. Take your 2, zero in, be decisive, and let's go. Mm-hmm. And I get yelled at because I'm like, what's the holdup here? What are we looking at?
That's why I grab, I put my hand in, I grab, and I throw it in their bag. Here you go.
The problem is when you have 25, 40 kids come to your table all at once. I don't know what the right way is to give out candy at that point.
You gotta line up. They gotta line up and go through the assembly line. That's what they gotta do.
I could picture you being out there, man. You would have a field day with this. All these people. Some of these places you would really like because they have all these. There's like a cul-de-sac off of this popular street. Instead of having everybody go down into the cul-de-sac, they bring it out to the main street, and they have a fire pit there, and music going, and everybody's got their own like little pop-up tent. And chairs and beers. Everybody's got their rich person. What are those mugs called?
Yetis.
Oh yeah, something like a Yeti, but whatever the I think there's a Harvey, something like that. Yeah, Yeti and
Arctic. There's Arctic. There's
and it's all full of booze. And we've had this conversation before. Guys walking down the street with their kids and drinking beers and stuff, and I'm just like, is this really what we're doing, guys?
But, yes, it is.
But what
that's what they're doing.
over and done with. My son was Batman, and the missus was Wednesday from Addams Family.
I saw the pictures on Instagram. A very good Wednesday costume.
Yeah, and I had the Hawaiian Halloween shirt with all the skulls and pumpkins on it.
Yeah, I like that shirt. That was slick. I would have wore that to work.
Yeah?
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
I could see that. Yeah. Let's see, what else? Since we last spoke, it was my birthday.
Yep.
Right? That was pretty much uneventful. Got some good stuff. I have procured with some of the funds of a couple new items have landed here via Amazon, of course. Matt, you can probably relate to this. As the older you get, you start, growing more hair in the ears and the nose. Mm-hmm. And I've desperately been looking for a better nose and ear trimmer.
Yeah.
So I just went online and said, best, give me the best. Give me the Cadillac.
And no cheap shit for Mike.
Right. So, I mean, weight-wise, I was expecting something a little bit more like substantial. It's pretty goddamn light. But it does a good job. It's a Panasonic. Don't ask me what model. I think I've already sent it to you what model it is.
I think so.
But it's doing a good job. But it's like the Kramer from Seinfeld thing. You know, once you start, shaving this shit, you got to keep on it because then it just, grows back quicker.
It becomes more noticeable too.
Yeah.
When once you shave it, if it's there, it just kind of all right. But then once you shave it, people can kind of somewhat notice sometimes that, oh man, Mike's nose hairs are gone, and then all of a sudden it's like, oh man, Mike's got long nose hairs. So yeah, it's becomes part of the routine now.
The nose hairs was never like outside the nose thing with me.
Mm-hmm.
It was always like inside, a lot of hair in the inside of the nostril. So I'm just holding the thing there, and all you hear is crunch, 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 crunch.
Yeah, I got one. Yeah.
I kind of want to bring it to Thanksgiving. Well, Thanksgiving will be here, so I don't have to bring it anyway. Just bring it downstairs and help out my dad. He's at the age now. He's getting close to 80.
I've seen some people. My dad's getting there too. That where it's can you even hear? It's like a Muppet inside their ear or something.
Not so much with that. Yeah, I guess the ears too, but man, the nose. It's like, come on.
Are you able to breathe?
He's not. That's the thing. He's got that long COVID. He had COVID right in the very beginning. I think before they even knew it was COVID.
Oh, jeez.
And he has a very hard time breathing. Maybe this will help. But yeah. You'd have to move heaven and earth to even have him contemplate sticking something like that in his nose to trim his hair. So it would,
Oh, right. Yeah.
You would be like, speaking in some sort of foreign language to him. It would be like, what? I'm doing what?
Why?
Yeah.
That hair is supposed to be there for a reason. It's the filters.
I would be more expecting him to say, well, it annoys your mother, and if it annoys her, we're keeping it there. I went over their house. I told you this. I went over their house a few weeks ago, and boy, the way they talk to each other,
You've told me.
The way they talk to each other is staggering, considering I didn't grow up, hearing that,
That's wild.
Yeah.
Maybe they're letting it all out now.
Exactly. Yeah, there you go. Stanley. Look, as you're pulling out the goddamn Yeti, and then you're pulling out, I'm saying Harvey. It's fucking Stanley.
Harvey. I was wondering, like, Harvey. I never heard Harvey as Stanley. Yeah. I got this for $5 at a yard sale. I went out to how much for the Stanley Cup? No, I don't know, $5. I was like, sold. Give it to me.
There's people online that collect those goddamn things.
Yeah, this is the original one. The original green, whatever.
The OG.
I think I put it on Facebook a while ago when I whole Stanley crowd. I should get my Stanley lunchbox and original thermoses out again, take a picture and show it to you. Mike, I could probably make some money off of eBay or something. Original lunchbox, thermos.
I could still smell my lunchboxes. Like, and I used to have like the thermos. I could still smell that plastic. You take it
Yeah.
off.
Yeah. Oh yeah. I remember it. I had a metal. When you were in school, was it metal or plastic? They were metal when I was still.
I had both. I think I eventually moved to a plastic one though.
Yeah. Yeah, they were metal when I started going. I had a cool Sesame Street lunchbox. It was sweet. It was really cool.
I think I had Star Wars and some other ones. I think the metal ones, it was just too noisy or whatever. So then I got like a plastic set or whatever.
Mm-hmm.
So I've also got a Kindle mat. I've told you I want to do some reading. Now
I didn't know you could read.
It's a hell of a thing. And I was debating getting an iPad versus a Kindle. I do like the form factor of the Kindle now that I've been using it. The weight is very light, easy to read, feels like, in some ways like a book. I think the iPad maybe would have been too big and too heavy. So I'm happy with that. I have to admit though, for how long have Kindles been a thing? Are we saying 10 plus years now?
Well, yeah, at least. Yeah.
I'm not impressed with the software. I think if Apple was running this, it'd be much better software. I mean, why are some things available on the app and on the PC, but then not on the Kindle itself, and the syncing of things and push to the app? I don't get it.
Barb uses her all the time, and she's, I know she loves hers. I like mine. It can be, once you start it up, a little slow, but once it's up and running, mine seems not too bad. Now hers is pretty snappy.
Well, yeah, I mean, it is the latest one, the Color Soft that just came out. So I'm not saying like it's slow or anything. It's snappy, but I'm just saying the software kind of left me unimpressed. And when I'm on my phone and looking at all my books that I've had previously, those books are not showing up in my Kindle app, like the Kindle itself. So I have like a bunch. I must have had Comixology at one point. So I got all these comic books, and they're not showing up on my Kindle, but they show up on the Kindle app on my phone. So I got to figure out a way to push those to the Kindle itself. I don't know if I got to make a collection and put them in there, or I got to do something, but why are they available on the Kindle app but not on the Kindle itself? Like,
yeah, normally I gotta like go to the Kindle and go to there's like a library tab or something. You click on that and stuff shows up in there.
They're not there. I've done the sync and all that stuff, so it is what it is. But I must have been into books at some point, like 2017. There was a book in there called Grey Wolf, which is a book that's building the case to tell you that Hitler actually didn't commit suicide, that he escaped to Patagonia in Argentina and lived out the rest of his life there with him and his Nazi cronies. Started reading that, and I was like, all right, this is hitting a little too close to home for now. So I'm gonna park that a little bit and circle back to that when I have the appetite. But the beginning of the book is building the case of like that his right-hand man knew all along that the Nazi regime was not long, and he needed to build up essentially all these assets and funnel them into Swiss accounts and all these other places. So when shit went tits up, they would have all this gold and all this money in other places, and they could live a comfortable life. And they go on to tell you about, that this particular area of Argentina had a lot of Germans there. So it wasn't like he would stick out as this, German guy amongst a bunch of South Americans, right? That a lot of the places only spoke German. A lot of the bars and restaurants were German only. So,
kind of interesting book.
Yeah. The problem is, the beginning of it is gets real exciting because they're laying the groundwork, but then they got to build the case for it. So they're going through like all the steps of the war and all these accounts that were opened and all these spies on both sides and all these, behind closed door deals. And so it gets a little bit, a bit of a slog and a lot of acronyms. So I parked that for a little bit. I'll probably circle back to that at some point. But with the Kindle, you get the 3 months of unlimited for free. So I signed up for that. And there's a bunch of musical autobiographies that I want to read. So the first one I'm reading is right now, I'm almost done, is Geezer Butler's book. Geezer Butler is the bass player in Black Sabbath. And there's a great story in there, and I hope no one is offended there. This is vulgar language, but once it gets explained, I think it's pretty goddamn funny. So he's doing his first American tour, and they have an AR guy, artist relationship manager, that shows up to sort of help him out while they come to America for the first time. So he's getting into the limousine or whatever, and the guy's like, "Can I get you anything?" He's like, "Oh, I desperately need a fag." He's like, "A fag?" And he's like, "Yeah, preferably a British fag." And the guy's like, "How many?" He's like, "I need 10 fags." The guy's like, 10 British fags? I don't know where I'm going to get 10 British fags. He's like, "And I didn't know you guys lean that way." And he goes, "Lean that way? What are you talking about? I just want a goddamn cigarette." He's like, "Oh, thank God. I didn't know where the hell I was going to get your 10 British fags." I thought that was a good story.
That's awesome. That's funny as hell.
So there's a lot of good stories like that throughout the book. I'm about 90% done. Put a lot of damage into it last night. But it takes you, chronologically through the beginning of the band up into like the popular years, the lean years, the very bad years. People think of these bands selling millions and millions of records, but the truth be told is, that was just their job, like me and you. And when they were young and dumb, they made bad business decisions, and a lot of these managers made all the money and ripped them off. And a lot of these guys didn't have much money at all, even up until about 10, 15 years ago. And it wasn't for like a resurgence and them getting back together and then getting proper management now that they have, some semblance of money. They're not like, loaded to the gills like, Ozzy is, because Ozzy had good management once he married his wife. Yeah, some of these other guys, like one guy got arrested for doing something stupid, and like bail was at $75,000, and he didn't have the money to bail him out. Other people had to come and help bail him out, and that was only, within the last, 15, 20 years.
Yeah, it's a common theme you hear a lot about, these young actors and young musicians where they get screwed over by promoters and managers and that, because they think they're signing this big contract, but in reality, they're getting minimal amount from that,
What would happen is the management would send them just enough money to not question things, so they could buy a house, buy a Rolls Royce, and things like that. But then one guy was like, my parents are getting up there in age. They've lived in this house in Birmingham forever, and post World War II, Birmingham was a rough area. It was industrial, and we're looking to get them a better house in the English countryside. And the guy's like, "Sorry, you don't have any money left. We're out of money."
Yeah.
So pretty wild stuff. But enjoying the Kindle, enjoying that book. I'll probably finish that today and then jump into some other autobiography. But Black Sabbath's always been one of my favorite bands, so it was good to hear some of those those backstories.
Nice.
As I think of the Kindle itself and books, I don't want another source of where I have to spend my money now. So it's a weird thing to think like, I pay the exorbitant fee for Spotify, but the whole family uses that. We get a lot of use out of that for $20 a month.
Yeah.
The poor artist. And that's sometimes the hat I put on, just thinking of playing in music. And if I was still in my band who's on Spotify, my old band gets around 90,000 listeners per month, which probably translates to like $90. Artists are just getting ripped off in those situations, like we just talked about with the management. The bands are not getting any sort of money to live off of via Spotify. It's a nice check that comes in the mail as a surprise, but maybe you buy yourself a little treat with that. But just think, if you're a band like I was in and you get $90 a month, that's nothing.
Right? Yeah.
You're getting less than a penny, per play, a fraction of a penny per play. So when I think of the books, and I don't want to buy, I'm now thinking of unlimited, and is that another thing I want to tack on as a monthly expense? Or do I want to just buy books as I go? And then I'm thinking about that whole thing as well. Like, just the whole economy of it. It's kind of wild, but we'll see how it goes. I'll worry about that when it comes. I got 3 more months. Hopefully I dive through dive through a few more books, and maybe by then I'll have it out of my system and I'll need a break from reading books, or maybe by then I'll be a complete bookworm and I'll say, yeah, let me keep going with unlimited. Who knows? I don't know what other genres of books. You say you read a lot of fiction, right?
Yeah, I read a lot of fiction. Science fiction, fantasy type stuff. Yeah, adventure, mysteries, all that.
No. Never have really done that. So, certainly with the video games I have, but we'll see if you have to recommend me a good book and see if it piques my interest.
Yeah, some of them I read halfway. I was like, man, this is, there's a suspension of belief, that you have to have a lot of times in some of these books and even in movies. And some of them go a little too far with that. It's like, okay, wait, this wouldn't, even in this fantasy world, there's no way this could happen, or this would really actually work, or something like that. So, but there's some of that stuff. Yeah, I don't know. I usually read when I'm out at the farm. Take my Kindle, load it up, and go out there and read while I'm sitting. It's nice.
It seems to have good battery life. Like I said,
it does.
Very lightweight. Very, very easy to use. I like at the bottom, it tells you, what percentage you are through the book. That was always my big thing as a kid, that I was never a big reader, because you'd pick up this book and you'd think it's like a fucking tome, and you're like, I'm never going to be able to get through that, I think sometimes when you're just doing it digitally, you don't feel like overwhelmed by it, right? It's just page by page. You're not sitting there having actually something in your hand going, shit, well, right. I've read 20 pages, but there's like fucking 520 pages left to go. I'm never getting through that. Screw this.
Yeah, I do like that percentage down in the corner. I got mine set to, it tells me the percentage left in the chapter I'm reading. So that's pretty cool there. I always like that, because sometimes this chapter says it'll take me, 8 minutes to read. All right, well, I can, get that in real quick. Or no, it says it's going to take me, 20 minutes. All right, well, maybe I'll hold off. Something like that. It's nice.
I think that the next book I might read, but I might have to buy it. I'm not sure if this is the exact title, but I think it's something like Sex, Drugs, and Hockey. And it's about this sort of hockey enforcer. For a while there, the hockey teams would always have a tough guy that would fight, right? That's sort of been, by and large, phased out of professional hockey, that teams don't take up a roster spot with the guy who just predominantly all he's asked to do is occasionally go out there, play on the fourth line, be a heavy checker, and fight. That aspect of NHL has been sort of phased out. But anyways, he put a book out. So he talks about being an NHL tough guy, and all that, popularity that came along with that, and the sex and drugs. So that might be a good book that
sounds interesting.
Yeah. What about you? You reading anything exciting?
Yeah, I'm reading a book right now. It's called Dreadful. It's about this dark wizard. He woke up from an explosion or something that happened in his room. He forgets who he is and what he does, and why is he a dark wizard? And then he's got a princess captured up in one of his little cells and stuff, and from the king. And it's a very humorous book. It's pretty good. It's not. He just has no idea really what he's doing. He kind of boggles stuff. He's got all these trolls and that work for him. They're all scared of him. Apparently, he was an asshole and would set him on fire for just stupid stuff. It's just. It's a very amusing book. It's pretty good.
You said the word asshole, and it triggered something in my brain. As I was reading that Geezer Butler book, there's the old saying that misery loves company. And I guess it was comforting in some ways to hear like him and some of the other guys, when they kind of like Dr. Jekyll and Mr. Hyde, when they would drink, they would get real violent. And that's me. For better or worse, I admit it, I drink, and the first couple drinks, everything's nice and happy, and then something, 6 to 8 drinks in, and I just want to murder someone. And so he talks a lot about that in the book, and some of the other guys as well. I don't know if it's the old Irish genes. He was born in, he was born in, I think, Ireland, but he was raised in England. So who knows what it is? It could just be circumstantial, but it was interesting because I've never really heard many other people, sort of express their tendencies once they get drunk. A lot of other guys like Ozzy was not like that. Ozzy was, a guy that would drink, and then he would just pass out, piss himself, shit everywhere. Some of the other guys, would just black out, but he said,
different kind of drunk.
Yeah, I'm more of the violent drunk. So when I come to Cincinnati, Matt, do not hand me fistfuls of beer.
We're going to the breweries, dude. We're going to see how this plays out.
We're going to go. What's the place that has the spaghetti and cheese? Not spaghetti.
Chili Skyline.
Skyline, yeah. Food fight.
Yeah, they don't have alcohol.
Food fight at Skyline.
They don't have alcohol there.
Well, it won't matter.
To get drunk first.
That's what I'm saying. It won't matter. All right. Other things that have transpired since we've last met. The World Series has concluded. I was shocked to see the Dodgers handle the Yankees so easily, but it was also, I think, a bit of a disappointing series. There was, there was some drama. The walk-off grand slam was that game 1.
Yeah.
Other than that, it was kind of ho-hum. I don't know. It didn't seem like, maybe if I was more of a Yankees or Dodgers fan, I would feel differently. But to me, it wasn't that much drama.
I think the Dodgers definitely handled that series. I mean, that was all theirs. It was theirs to lose. Man, they were just going in and kicking ass.
And as these World Series and playoffs tend to play out over time, it's always not the best player that wins the series for you. Like Ohtani was hurt from sliding, and he was like 1 for 11 or something like that in the World Series.
Yeah.
It was just a collective team effort. They were just it was their time, and it was very they wanted to get that monkey off their back because they felt the other championship they won wasn't a real championship. Like I say, the COVID championships all have come with an asterisk. And so they felt that this legitimized their run, that they didn't want to be that team that was so good, so loaded, and never could win, based on a full schedule and a full playoff run. So they felt vindicated. And then the NFL has been going strong. I watch these games, Matt. I'm not really impressed by the product I'm seeing. You probably feel I'm not impressed with the product I'm seeing the Bengals put out there, but that could be a different story. I thought the Bengals game the other night was very exciting. I thought the Zach Taylor call at the end to go for it was the right call because I felt like anybody who was going to get that ball was going to score. That was just the type of game it was. It was a back and forth offensive affair, and I think if they went to tie the game with the field goal, with the extra point, that Lamar would just go right down the field and score because that was just what was going on in that game. But they should have won that game because the refs missed many, many calls there close to the end. I think I counted 2 or 3 face mask calls and maybe a punch to the head that Burrow. And I don't know how you missed something. And I thought Al Michaels was great on the telecast. He's my favorite play-by-play guy. And I thought he was frustrated. He's like, why are these games ending like this?
Yeah. Yeah, I agree. It was just the Bengals shouldn't have been in that position in the first place. To have to come down like that.
They were up 21-7.
This is another game lost by the defense. The defense, Mike, you and I can score against this defense. I mean, good Lord, it's easier than scoring with your prom date, against this Bengals defense. Horrible. There's another game lost by them. And the penalties at the end, they were just horrible. Very, very obvious what was going on, what was happening.
It's no consolation for you, but I think next year the rule is going to change. I think they're going to allow those to be replayed, like reviewed.
I
think. I think you might see some of that. But there was a bunch that were missed.
It's horrible.
I mean, how many guys are on the field? How many referees and umpires are on the field? If I had to take a guess, at least between 8 and 12.
Yeah, and they're all right there. It's not like they're spread around their field. They're all right there in that one little area. So and I feel bad. Burrow and Jamar Chase, doing a hell of a job. I mean, Burrow's stats, he's Got 2,672 yards, 24 touchdowns, 24 interceptions. I mean, that's Jesus Christ. And your record is showing at where you're at. Oh my God, 4-6 or whatever. It's just horrible.
That one
A waste of talent.
That one touchdown you guys gave up where the guy just was like, I don't know, he had like an 80-yard run and no one was near him.
Yeah, no one was near him.
That was
wide open.
And I was
it was.
And I was yelling at the television at Jamar, get in the fucking end zone, dude.
Yeah,
Your team's 3-5 or whatever it is. Get in the fucking end zone.
Yeah, get there. Yeah. I don't know what's going on with some of these plays. Who's, Joe's calling them or Zach is. I'm thinking a lot of it's on Zach, but just a lot of these constant short screen passes. Throw the ball down. Get. Yeah.
Well, they threw it downfield, but then I was talking about the play where Jamar was like sort of rubbing it in the Ravens' face. He wouldn't get in the end zone, like he was just circling by the.
Oh,
I was like,
yeah. Yes.
I was like, your team is not very good. Get in the end zone, sir.
Yeah, that bugs me too. Like when they intercept and then they all get together and run down the other end zone. Like that. It's like, you know what? That
was a COVID thing. That's a leftover from COVID when there was no.
I don't care. I don't care. It's stupid because you're fucking 3-5 or whatever. When you do that, your defense sucks. You get one interception and you're going to do that. No, I would be all over them. Like, shut the fuck up, grow up, don't do that. You're not there yet.
The problem is they make a lot more money than you. Not you, Matt, the civil engineer. You, Matt, aka Zach Taylor.
All right. Yeah.
It's no longer. The head coach doesn't have much authority over shit like that. The world has changed, the players have changed, and that's part of the thing. Like, I wonder why I invest so much time and watch it. There's something like right now, like 15 teams with losing records, and I looked this up the other day. Traditionally, the season ends with 10 to 12 teams with losing records. So right now, we're a little bit ahead. 15 teams with losing records. That's like 15% more than the average. The product is just bad to me. Like, I've talked before, like, guys going for the home run tackle and missing. I don't know what it is. I can't put my finger on it. If there's too many teams and the product is watered down, or if guys just don't know how to tackle anymore, or they're not allowed to tackle the way they want because of the various rules, so it's turned more into a touch football league. I don't know what it just doesn't. A lot of these teams, I think a lot of it too is just not a lot of good quarterbacks. You watch some of these quarterbacks, and these guys are not very good. We don't have like that real strong group of, we got Lamar, we got Joe Burrow, you got Mahomes, and then I feel like it drops off pretty steep after that. You got to get, you get a couple tweeners, you got a couple guys that are B plus, but they're never going to get you to the promised land,
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
That's our sports talk for the week. Let's move on. Let's move on to the video game stuff. This was a release week. The PlayStation Pro has landed. I have purchased one. It arrived very early on Thursday, thanks to Sony. And,
nice.
I guess the initial impressions, Matt, is the form factor. It is about the same height. It's a little smaller than the OG PS5, just a little bit. But as far as thickness, it is nowhere near as chunky as the original PS5. Now, part of that is because I don't have the disc drive. I didn't get the add-on. I don't have many disc games, so I just kept it digital. But when it sits underneath the entertainment system, it doesn't look as obnoxious. Now, I know you were a big fan of the PS5 look. You thought it was a stunning-looking console, and I don't dislike it, but this one seems like more appropriate. You look at it, you see it on its side, horizontally. It looks like it just fits appropriately, like in an entertainment center. You don't feel like you're sticking this thing in somewhere and it's just barely fitting in there. And like, what's this big hunk of plastic? It looks pretty sharp with the three plastic like band in the middle of it. It looks sleek, and it's much lighter. And the PS5 is quiet as well, so this is quiet too. So first impressions, taking it out of the box, I really liked it. And you no longer have this weird black stand that comes with it, whether you want to put it vertically or horizontally. If you're putting it horizontally, it comes with two clear plastic pegs that fit in those black bands that I was talking about. There's like inserts underneath. And so you're not having this sort of weird stand that they had before. Now, if you do want to put it vertically, you got to go out and buy some. It doesn't come with it. You got to come out and buy some other stand. But I have it horizontally in my entertainment unit. And yeah, man, I fired up a bunch of games, which we'll get into here, and I think it looks pretty damn stunning.
Nice.
Now, admittedly, I've been playing Fallout 76 for what would we say, about 3 to 4 months here now?
It's been a while. Mm-hmm.
And so maybe my eyes are sort of seeing things better than they are because I've been in the muddy world of Fallout 76, but I fired up like Fortnite on there, and Fortnite's made some, we've talked about this before, that's made some great leaps and bounds visually from where it was never a bad looking game, but if you compare when it originally came out to now, it's unbelievable. And of course, Epic Games is the people that release Unreal Engine, so they know that engine in and out, so they got that thing humming pretty good. Some of the water effects, unbelievable. I played this game called Stellar Blade, which is kind of like a hack and slash Japanese action game. So lots of big bouncy breasts, big
nice.
Round bums. You can put them in all scantily clad outfits, and they're killing all these monsters with their blades.
Perfect.
Yeah. When you boot up the PS5 and you go into settings, you want to put on they got this, I guess for a lack of better terms, a boost mode that was in the PS4 Pro. Something equivalent that would enhance your PS4 games as well. And then in each individual game, they have their own PS5 Pro settings that you can switch on. At least most of them that I've come across so far. So I'm not sure if you're thinking of picking one up or if Noah is. If you do get one, it only really makes sense if you've got the latest and greatest television that's got the VRR and 120 hertz. Otherwise, it's like buying a Lamborghini with the driveway that's all fucked up. It's like what's the fucking purpose?
Good analogy.
Yeah.
Now, do they still have? Where back when the PS5 first came out, you could change the blades, different colors and different things. Is that still a thing, or is it you stuck with the white now?
I think for the PS5 Pro, you are stuck with the white, or unless you got the anniversary one that's gray. Because it's a different form factor. I don't believe the shell that you could buy for the PS5 is going to fit this. Now, if the Slim has ones that you can buy, those it looks to be equivalent to the Slim. I've always kept these white, so I'm not an expert on that particularly, but I did hear somewhere along the lines that it's not a 1-to-1 fit, so don't think you can get the PS5 traded in with the white and maybe you got black or blue or whatever, and then you can slap it on the Pro. I don't think that's going to work for you. I think you're either going to need to get specific ones for the Pro, or maybe if the Slim offers ones that you could put the Slim ones on there.
Mm-hmm.
I did something I was reading a little while ago was making it seem like that was not a good situation for Sony, meaning people spent money on these things and they're not applicable to the current one, to the Pro.
Yeah.
Today, at some point, I will be opening it up and putting in the SSD drive, which is a very easy process. But I got to tell you, it comes with 2 terabytes, which is the first, wave of consoles now came out with 1 terabyte. This next wave, like if you go out and buy the new Xbox Series X, the one that's got black with like the splatter on it, or sparkles or whatever, that's a 2 terabyte Xbox Series X. The PS5 Pro is also 2 terabytes. So I downloaded, 15 games, and I didn't need the SSD yet. I didn't max out.
Now is this an additional SSD, or you're replacing the one that's in there? You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like my PC, I have the SSD, but I had plug in, or I can plug in another one and connect it.
Yeah. So this is you to my knowledge don't get access to the internal SSD. This is an expansion slot. You take the cover off, you unscrew a plate, and just like your regular PC, there's another bay that you can put this in. And you just
so you're adding.
Yeah, so when I'm all said and done, I'll have 4 terabytes.
Yeah, nice. Cool.
Yeah, and the PS5 Pro can handle expansion up to 8 terabytes. So if you had the money and were so inclined, you could get an 8 terabyte SSD. I have no idea what that would cost you. That feels like that would be an exorbitant amount of money to buy an 8 terabyte. And I also don't like buying hard drives. Maybe SSD is different, that size. I feel like the bigger the size, sometimes the performance goes out the window.
Well, let's take a look here real quick, Mike. We're on the internet, and we can see things here.
I mean, I imagine it's got to be somewhere between $300 to $500. I'm not more.
$650, WD Black, 8 terabyte. Like the ones for my PC here. The little
M.2s.
Yep, M.2. $650.
Yeah. So just as much as the PS5 Pro.
Yeah, list price of $879.
Yeah, I mean, I don't know what you're doing at that point. I mean, I don't know why you would ever need that and download every freaking game that you own. I don't.
Well, you're going to be using it to download all the porn before it becomes illegal. That's what you're going to be doing.
Is that going to be a thing?
That's going to be a thing.
Yeah. You're not going to go there, though. I'm not going there.
No. That's it for that.
So I have been playing a lot of games this weekend, which is a change of pace. If you've been listening to this show, it's just really been a lot of Fallout 76 stuff. But I've been playing games because, like I said, the wife and kids are away. I've been, like I said, Fortnite and Stellar Blade were the first 2 things I fired up. Was really impressed visually by them. Yesterday was just a proper day of video games. Like my friends overseas like to say, it was a proper day. Started off the day playing Astro on the PS5 Pro. Now that's not an enhanced game, but I don't know if you would enhance something like that. But you got to be into platformers, collectibles. The game is just dripping with so many artistic and crazy ideas. People like me and you, Matt, we wouldn't be able to make a game like this. We don't have the mind to come up with some of the stuff that I'm seeing in this game, right? There's just the ideas that some of these people put from pen to paper into the game. It's up there when I talk about like the Little Big Planet games and stuff like that. It's just really, really thinking outside the box and putting it into the presentation of a platformer. Really, really clever stuff. So I'm like 3 levels in. Completed them. As you go along, you rescue some of those, whatever those those bots are. Some of the bots are dressed up in skins that are famous, like PlayStation characters over the years. You're collecting puzzle pieces, coins, etc. Just really well done. Visuals are great. Gameplay's like a dream. The haptic feedback. I always said that the Ratchet and Clank and the Astro games have the best implementation of the haptic feedback. So the rumble that you're getting, you're walking through grass, you can feel that in your hands with the controller. You're on the beach, you're in some levels that are like ice cream levels, and so you're walking through the ice cream and it's revealing like a waffle cone like underneath it. You can sort of just get that tactile feel of that as you're playing.
Oh, nice.
Yeah. So after Astrobot, I fired up Diablo and played Vessel of Hatred. That Diablo is a PS5 Pro enhanced game. Now, of course, with that isometric look, with Diablo, are you getting a lot of benefits of the PS5 Pro? I think it's up to you. I certainly, when you go into some of those dungeons and some of those basements, I thought visually it looked really impressive. When you were out and about and just in the world, I couldn't tell much of a difference.
What about load times in that, though? Because there's a lot of loading that happens in that game.
Yeah, I mean, I probably played it for close to 2 hours and I got to level 20, so the load times were minimal. And, they got that game in a place now where it doesn't feel like so much like a slog. You're leveling up pretty quickly because they want you to get to the end game content. They want you to get to like level whatever 54 or something like that.
Yeah.
And then it sort of starts with that end game stuff. So I think within 2 hours I was already at level 20, and it said I was 10% complete of the Vessel of Hatred DLC. I know you were playing Diablo for a while there, fell off for the Fallout. So I'm not sure if you have any interest, but it kind of picks up the story. If you've ever finished the campaign, it sort of picks it up from after there.
Yeah, I would have to pick it up again and get back into it. And the last time we played is when we was doing the seasonal stuff, the seasons, and then we had to create new characters for that. So that's last time. I wouldn't mind getting back into that again.
I think with the Vessel of Hatred, there's a new character type, new class called Spiritborn. So that is the character I'm playing now. It's more like close combat, not a heavy like Barbarian, but just a close combat type player. And when you level the character up, you like spirits can come out like one of my attacks is like a gorilla comes out and does like a ground pound. This girl, I think I went with one of the default characters and just customized her a little bit. So she's a redhead, so I called her Molly Ringwald. Some of the other characters I've had before in other seasons, like had Monica Geller. So I don't think I'm pronouncing her last name right, but Monica from Friends.
Yeah.
So now I got Molly Ringwald out there, fucking ripping shit up in Vessel of Hatred. I just, I was enjoying it. Some of the moves, and, I have like this toxic skin, so I do a lot of passive damage as people attack me. They get, and then you can also now have, you can hire people to go along with you. So if you're playing solo, as you encounter these characters, so far I've only encountered one, you hire them to go along in battle with you. And then if like you joined me, that person would go back to like, the main place, and then it would just be me and you. So I thought that was kind of neat. You're no longer out there swinging by yourself, and at least in the first part of the story, you're actually a team of 3 because there's this other Spiritborn guy that's coming along to assist you. So that's kind of nice as well.
PC type guy.
Yeah.
Neat.
After Diablo, I fired up Ratchet and Clank, and I was a little sad to see the last time I played Ratchet and Clank was 2021, but of course I did beat it. That was in the bad fodder figure days. Eric's a big Ratchet and Clank guy as well, and that just
he was. Yeah.
That's just a great implementation of the PS5 Pro. The game looks stunning anyways on the PS5, but the PS5 Pro enhancements, it's just a gorgeous game, and that is video gaming at its finest, right? A lot of crazy guns, the tactile feel with the haptic feedback, typical story, good guys versus the bad guys. Someone's been kidnapped, got to rescue, so I will probably be playing a lot of that just because it just feels so good, and the leveling up of the guns, they get better and better, and the tactile feel just improves over time as well. So if you got a PS5 Pro or PS5, I highly recommend Ratchet and Clank Rift Apart. And then the last thing I did last night right before bed, I cannot use the Xbox at my house when my kid is awake because he's always on it. I have multiple Xboxes, but he doesn't have his own live account. So he has his own Xbox account, but he doesn't pay for it. So to get all the benefits, he has to log in as me and then switch to his account. So anyways, he went to bed and I fired up the Call of Duty campaign. I'm not sure if you've played that yet on Xbox.
Not yet.
Typical Call of Duty stuff, big worlds, big environments, another combat that's taking place somewhere in the Middle East. And I don't know where this is headed towards, but you got some sort of main hideout, and you're going into these missions and you earn cash or you find cash, and then you bring it back and you give it to Woods, and then that builds out the compound that you're in. So like your gear station, your training station, gadgets, etc. You build out those with the cash that you find. There's another wall that you go to that they're piecing the story together. So far, though, I don't know the point of that because it doesn't let me hop around. It's just showing this wall, like with the strings, and they're building out the case, but it's only letting you go to that one mission. So I'm not sure if it ever breaks out that you can hop around. But right now, it seems to be linear. But it's kind of, neat to see the board and see how they're piecing the story together. But typical Call of Duty combat, sometimes you feel like you're just watching the NPCs play and shoot, and other times, you take complete control. I had a mission yesterday where I am going in to kill these bad guys, for lack of a better term, and you dress up as like security guards so they don't know who you are, and you can sneak around and kill guys. And you're with this other woman who says, all right, I'm going to capture you at some point, just play along, and then they're about to kill you, and then shit breaks loose. So, pretty cinematic, great voice acting. A lot of the famous characters that we know from the Black Ops series are in there as well.
Mm-hmm. I know Noah's been playing it. He really likes the zombie part of it. He said the zombies is really good playing this year.
I saw a story last night that some guy played zombies, I don't know, 12 or 24 hours straight and got to like round 147. I don't know if I'm using terms correctly, but then forgot to save. And I don't know why. I don't know why why are we saving? Like, aren't these games like automatically saving to the cloud after certain rounds? Like, isn't that should be like an auto thing happen? But there was like a big story. The guy says, I feel like a complete failure. Fucked up, didn't save, lost all this progress. I'm sitting there reading it, like, shouldn't this just be automatic? Like, just save after each round and go to the cloud?
Right. Yeah. Yeah. Checkpoint.
So to summarize, Matt, a lot of gaming done yesterday, a lot of PS5 Pro, very happy with the purchase. Call of Duty seems more of the same, but that's good. I've only played like 2 matches of multiplayer, and both times I think someone was up my ass at the house, and I couldn't finish the match, and I had to bail out. My initial impressions of Call of Duty multiplayer is the controls feel real loose to me. And I'll have to maybe adjust that, but it felt like Call of Duty multiplayer, but I don't know. It felt a little bit different than in years past. So I need to give it more time, but we need to plan a night where we can play some COD since everybody's got Game Pass and try it out and be actual fodder for the real good players.
Absolutely. It's a good idea.
So what have you been playing, sir? Anything besides Fallout?
Actually, I have been playing other things besides Fallout. I'm a big fan of the simulation games, and Power Wash Simulator, one of my nice, relaxing favorite games to play. They do seasonal things also. So they came out with a seasonal pack for Halloween, where you got to go in. There's some Halloween house you got to go in and clean and spray and
clean
all the stuff.
Eggs off the car.
Yeah, stuff like that, spray paint, graffiti, and all that. So working on that. And then there was a series of things that they've been putting out for free. And part 3 came out. So I'm working on there's different things in there to clean. So I'm working on that. And it's very huge. One's you're inside this aquarium. You got to clean all this aquarium stuff. And it looks really, really cool when you get it clean. And kind of like what you said, after playing Fallout for so long, and you play another games just look gorgeous. It's a simple game, Power Wash Simulator, but it's so vibrant, and the colors, and it's not as muted, and looks very, very, very good.
So we're doing the community a service, saving them $700 instead of getting the PS5 Pro. Take your $700 and convert that into 700 hours in Fallout 76, and then come back and play other games, and you're like, oh shit, this...
Holy crap, man, Pac-Man looks so great.
Yeah.
And then the other night, coming home from, just been a long week at work with stuff going on there and that. Was on the Steam Deck and did some Dave the Diver, which is a fun little game to play. You make sushi and stuff like that. Neat little game. Some of that, and the pressure washer simulator.
Do you eat sushi in real life?
Fallout. I do eat sushi in real life. Mm-hmm. Yeah, I like sushi.
All right.
It's good.
We all have our faults. It's all right.
You don't. I take it you're not a sushi person. I love sushi. It's good.
I don't do seafood at all, unless it's
Uh,
fried clams without the bellies. It's pretty much eating like French fries or onion rings at that point.
I was going to say you're pretty much I was just.
One thing I forgot to mention that I have been playing, Matt, which you need to be playing, which you need to get back because Armadillo is looking for you, sir. Wes Dickens is looking for you in Armadillo.
Oh.
He's gonna show you the fountain of youth. He has this latest and
some
greatest
snake oil. Yes. Some snake oil to sell me.
I have. I purchased Red Dead Redemption on PC. It's good to be back with Bonnie and Wes Dickens and the sheriff and everybody else.
Yeah.
Steam sale's coming up in less than 20 days, but I highly doubt Rockstar's putting that on sale right away.
I don't think so.
But yeah,
can you play that on the Steam Deck?
I don't know. You got the internet there. I don't.
I'm looking.
But yes, I am back in Red Dead Redemption on PC. You know, we've talked about this before. One of our favorite games of all time. Runs like a dream on the PC, especially our newer PCs. Yeah, I mean, I always felt like, you know, Rockstar's got its own way of shooting mechanics, which is with the very small reticle. But occasionally, when I would play that on like the Xbox 360 or the Xbox, it would take me a while to get into, you know, riding the horse and shooting. But the way it performs on the PC, it just felt to me, maybe because I was playing the Fallout games so much, going into a game like this, you know, the mechanics just felt a little smoother for me. But anyways, I didn't feel like I had to sort of relearn how to play a Rockstar game here. It just came very naturally. So I've been making good progress in that as well. Doing a lot of stuff in Armadillo for the sheriff right now. You know,
how's it look?
It looks great. Yeah, it looks great. I always love, you know, the cattle rustling scene. You know, where you go up above and you're shooting all those guys. You know, just a lot of. And you go into sort of that. I don't know what that mode is called, the Matrix mode, where you can slow it down.
Dead Eye. It was called like Dead Eye or like that. Yeah.
Really, really enjoying it. There's been a lot of gaming going on, Matt. You know, it's cozy season here.
It is. It's time for that season.
So doing a lot of gaming. I really feel like my time with Fallout is more about pushing to level 300. I'm like, you know, 297, 296. So I'm getting to 300. So at 300, you get your last perk card. And then seasonal, I'm way ahead of the season. I think, you know, the 150 is the target you want to get to, and I think I'm somewhere like 175 at the moment. So I've exceeded all the seasonal stuff. So my time with Fallout feels like it's winding down a little bit. Besides doing the dailies, in which I can get through pretty quickly now on the Ally or something else. So yeah, I'm enjoying dabbling into other games. I recommend you do it as well.
I should.
All right, some news items before we move on here. Call of Duty Black Ops 6 had the biggest Call of Duty launch ever. Okay, so they said they were number one total players, number one hours played, and number one total matches. The biggest Call of Duty 3-day opening weekend ever. They also speculate that Game Pass has reached somewhere between 2.5 million and 4 million new subscribers. However, that comes at the cost of traditional sales. So, Matt, you bust out the calculator and tell me selling 4 million games at $69.99 or having 4 million players sign up for whatever the minimum is, you know, is that making the math or are they making the money or losing the money? Who knows? They say right now that on PlayStation and Steam was an opening record sales weekend. 60% jump compared to last year's Modern Warfare 3. I always think that the Black Ops series does better than the Modern Warfare series, at least the newer Modern Warfare games. Of course, the old school Modern Warfare games did very, very well. But I think Blops has the better market penetration when it comes to people buying it and playing it long term. And I think, if I am correct, that this week coming up is the kickoff of the new season in Call of Duty, whatever that means, for Warzone and everything else. The season didn't launch at the date the game was released. To let the game sit out there for a week or two, and then they're launching the new season. And I guess there's 1,000,001 different things that you can purchase, earn, etc. with this new season. So we are neck deep in the Call of Duty season. Hope to see you on the battlefield, sir.
I should be out there. When's that next game? When's the next Battlefield coming out?
No, I think they're taking their time with it. I think, I could be completely wrong with this, but I don't think I am. I think not to the extent of No Man's Sky, but I think that Battlefield game has a bit of a redemption story to it, where they just, stuck to their guns, improved on it, and made it better and better over time. However, I don't think the fans have returned in bulk like No Man's Sky or Cyberpunk or something along those lines. But I think they've instead of annualizing it, they've coffee for me. How nice. Thank you. Yeah. So anyways, I'm not sure when the next don't burn yourself, Matt.
Nice.
Does Bob know I've never had coffee? Ever?
Probably not. I'll have to let her know.
Where were we? Call of Duty. Battlefield. Yeah. Battlefield. Yeah. There was a time there where you would have to make a decision on which one to get, or you'd buy both, and one would sit in the plastic wrapping for a while until you got sick of the other one. Then you'd open up. We had many nights where we played Battlefield together. Remember those years?
Yeah. Oh yeah, man. Yep.
Moving on, Nintendo has confirmed backwards compatibility for its next unannounced console, which everybody is going to be assumed is going to be the Switch 2. So they had some sort of investors earning call this week, and they said the successor will be backwards compatible for Switch games, which I think is a big thing for Nintendo, because Nintendo always does something different with their console, right? They never stick to like the repetition. But I think this time, because of this, the sweeping success of the Switch, that they would be foolish to pivot to something completely different and leave that whole library behind them. So I think times are tough. They're going to probably do something a little bit different with the Switch 2 to give it a different flavor. But by and large, I think it's going to do the same exact stuff that you expect of a Switch. And they're going to be able to bring that whole library with them. And of course, if you bring the Switch library with you, you're also bringing what with you? The Wii U library. Right? So you're getting two libraries now coming with you over to the Switch 2.
Smart.
Yeah. I don't think we will see. I know you asked me this, I think, we were playing one night, when we'll get the announcement. I don't think we're going to get the announcement this year, because I think they're focused on software sales between now and Christmas, get those holiday sales. And then I think you'll see an announcement probably somewhere in February, early March of 2025.
It's a smart move by them. Makes it easier to upgrade when you can play all the games that you already have.
Yes. Moving on. We know that you're a budding YouTube sensation, although you haven't been recording any of your videos in 7, 8, 10 years. But we just
on a break.
On a little bit of a hiatus. Steam has... We talked about this on a few shows back, that it was in beta, but now it's out into the public. Steam's built-in game recording is now available to all. So you got some critical moments in Fallout that you want to share with everybody, like you're stuck somewhere in the environment, or you spawned into someone's camp and you're stuck underneath their camp and you can't get out, and you got to respawn somewhere else. You want to show Todd, this is the pain point I'm experiencing in your game. You can now record this. And it's all done via Control F11, Matt. Control F11 is the default to automatically start recording. I look for your video. I look for your videos soon, sir.
Expect lots of power washing videos to be coming out.
Mm-hmm. And when you play power washing, do you bring your own experiences into the game, or do you bring your experiences into the game, into the backyard when you're cleaning the truck? Was it vice versa, or what?
it's a two-way street there, Mike. I take some of my real life learning experiences, I'll take them to the game, and sometimes in the game those don't work. In the game, I learn a better trick or something else to do. And I was like, "Ooh, hey, that's a good idea." I take it back into the real world. Then, yeah, it can go both ways there. It's a very satisfying game. It's just very satisfying.
And that can be applied to other things in life too, not just power washing games. Some of your other games that you have on Steam, in your hidden library.
Yeah, I tell you what, man. I was just looking because I had Steam open, looking at Red Dead Redemption, and it's like, man, all these games. I mean, remember we bought. Well, I don't know if you did, but I bought Fallout 76 on Steam when it was on sale.
Yeah,
just in case. Yeah. Good Lord, I'm looking back here. Baldur's Gate 3. I got to finish that. Diablo. Helldivers, Division, Madden, Cyberpunk. I mean,
yeah, you've just been twaddling along in fucking Appalachia, and all these other worlds have just, you're going to go back in there and they're going to be like, "So nice to see you again, sir."
Or they're like, "Oh, we moved on from you."
Matt, tell me, you're a child of the '80s. Tell me where Indiana Jones hit you in the nostalgia feels.
Oh heck yeah, man! The original Indiana Jones movie. Absolute banger of a movie. I remember going. I don't know if you had by you Malibu racetracks. There's a little go kart racing track place. They had like little mini F1 cars. You drive around the track. They had an arcade in the middle. They had an Indiana Jones game in there where you could just beat the shit out of people and do stuff. That was always fun. But Indiana Jones was a great series, great movie. Really cool.
Did you see a video the other day? I don't know how real, or not real, but I don't know how recent it is. Some amusement park, I don't know if it's Disney or something, has like an Indiana Jones, like the sequence where the ball is coming down. You know what I'm talking like with the
yeah. At the beginning of that, the very beginning of the first Indiana Jones movie, where he steals the idol. Yeah.
Well, in this amusement park where they're acting this scene out, the guy didn't outrun the ball.
Oh no! Got hit by the ball on one of them stunt show things you're talking about on
well, no, I don't know. No, like you can go to like I've never been to. Well, I guess I've been to Disney, but I haven't been to Disney in years. But you go to these places and you can go see like sit down for like a show and they reenact and so the guy The guy didn't outrun the ball. So all of a sudden, you're seeing like these like, security people in front of like the audience, whatever, right? And the guy's got like walkie-talkie and headphones. And you see Indiana Jones come out and he's trying to outrun the ball. And all of a sudden, he's not running very fast and the ball's moving faster than him and he got squashed by it. And you see the guy that's like looking at the fans start running towards like, Indiana Jones to see like, if he
if he's okay.
Yeah.
No.
I don't know how recent that is. It looked pretty recent.
I've seen videos on YouTube like that where like it's a water thing where they did like remember that movie Waterworld?
Yeah. Where
some guy was like trying to jump off a big platform and his like foot got caught in a rope and he's like hanging there. I was like, oh, that was great with it. People are running trying to get him in that. It was like wow.
Anyways, Indiana Jones and the Great Circle is the game that's coming out, I think, here in December, right? Next month.
Yeah.
So there is a deep dive. Bethesda is putting on a deep dive this coming Monday at 10 a.m. Eastern. Now, if you have Monday off for Veterans Day, you can go ahead and spend your day watching Indiana Jones and the Great Circle, a deep dive. Now, this, of course, is made by Machine Games. Machine Games are the people that put out the Wolfenstein games. So it's got some of the same sort of gameplay and visuals and in-game puzzles that you would expect from Machine Games. I think Microsoft is hoping for a big end of the year. Call of Duty just hit this coming week. Stalker 2 is coming out. Now, Stalker 2, of course, has had that troubled history of making the game because they were in the Ukraine. And with the invasion of Russia, they've had to make their game with the war going on in the backdrop. So that's been a long haul for them to get the game, but the game has gone gold and it's coming out the 14th next week on Game Pass. And then the end of the month here in December, end of the year in December, Indiana Jones is coming out. So for all you Game Pass people, 3 bangers coming out. You see yourself playing any of these, Matt?
Yes, especially the Indiana Jones. I'm seeing the Indiana Jones probably be like a the Uncharted type of thing.
Well, no,
going out.
They said they didn't make an Uncharted game. A lot of people are just making those comparisons, and they said they didn't go out and purposely make an Uncharted game. So I guess they don't play very similarly, even though maybe like the story, has like
same thing. Right. Okay, cool.
But it's more like a Wolfenstein game, I believe.
All right. I've never played Wolfenstein, so I wouldn't know that, but I would play it. And then Stalker 2. I never played a Stalker game, but I'll probably check that out.
Lots of lights on in your house, Matt. With that, you don't want to play that in the dark. There, a lot of scaries, a lot of scary,
little scary stuff going on there.
Oh yeah.
Oh man, great.
Because it's around Chernobyl, right? Isn't that a start in that area?
Yeah.
A lot of mutated mutants.
Well, hell, I'm doing that in Fallout 76.
Fallout 76 might be the least scariest game ever, right?
Oh yeah, exactly. Yeah. There's nothing. The only scary thing in that game is the bugs.
Right. Well, yeah, I guess that's true. The bugs, the things that scare me in that game are the Mirelurks. Those friggin' the sounds.
Well, the sound, that chittering sound. Yeah. But when I'm saying scary, the bugs are scary, like the game bugs, not the actual insects.
Yeah. I don't know what I was doing yesterday. I was looking at. I was in private mode. I was on my phone. And I just put the Ally down for like 5-10 minutes, not even thinking anything. Right. And I'm at the Mothman book, like trying to get I was like, trying to get the XP. And I come back and like I'm just I'm standing in my house, no walls. I'm still at that book, like reading it. All those little friggin' robots came and took down my whole house.
Oh no.
I'm just, I was on my phone looking at something. I got distracted. Like 10 minutes went by, and I peek up at the Ally. A little ventilation was put in here. A little drafty.
Time to redecorate.
I've never seen so much rebuilding. I still haven't rebuilt it all because I don't have the razor grain. I might just have to scrap it.
Oh,
so I have to get like 3 razor grain to replenish it. But I think I might have rebuilt my tomatoes and my razor grain are completely gone, and I don't have any to fix them.
Oh, you have to go to one of them farms and grab some.
Yeah. All right, sir. I think the next time we speak, we're going to be up on Thanksgiving week with our bi-weekly show. If Thanksgiving is in 2 weeks? It's late this year. It's always the last Thursday in November, right?
Correct, sir.
So what are we at right now? The 10th? Yeah, so the 28th. Yeah, so what's going on for Thanksgiving? What are your plans?
Not 100% sure yet.
Yeah.
I mean, we'll obviously prepare a turkey. I'll probably put it in the smoker or something like that. Yeah, I'm not sure if Barbara's got to talk to. She wants, sister and dad coming over, or what her plan is for Thanksgiving. Also, so I haven't really discussed plans, but I'm looking forward to it. I always like Thanksgiving.
You got to get the bird soon. Have you already at least done that?
Yeah, the bird's been purchased. Yeah, we have a turkey.
So we're having Thanksgiving at my house. This is the 3rd time we've had it since we've lived here. And so, we're having my parents over, my brother, and then my aunt and her family. So about 13 people in total coming over. Of course, since predominantly everybody that I live with is vegetarian, there's no preparing of the turkey here. So I got there's a restaurant a couple towns over that offers like a Thanksgiving to-go meal.
Mm-hmm.
So got a turkey, get it carved, and it comes with a whole bunch of sides, and then we'll probably make like a lasagna or something else here for other people who want something besides turkey.
I mentioned this the other night, Mike, when we was playing. I can load up the truck with my equipment and make a trip to Boston.
Yeah, you and Bob, Christopher. No, I just worried what's going to happen with the dog and the 2 cats, though.
Or the dog would be gone by then. At least it better be. The dog would be gone. And the cats can live on their own.
I'm a little disappointed the dog hasn't made an appearance here on the show.
He mainly stays upstairs close to Barb. He stays close.
Hopefully I don't blow up the whole show here. I don't know if I can move. She's right behind me, but...
I see I see part of her.
Yeah. Her better days are behind her.
That's unfortunate.
I thought the dog would... I think for a few minutes there, I saw the kitten.
Yeah, she came over here and looked at me. I think she wants to get into the window here, but she doesn't want to jump while I'm here. If I wasn't here, she'd probably jump right up into the window.
All the cats you ever owned always been jumpers, always getting into stuff, always jumping on stuff?
Yeah, like up into the windows and jumping on the bed and stuff like that. Yeah, we don't have any problems with them getting on the counters or anything. They've never done that, but we've had getting on the windows, like jump up here and to the desktop or something like that. Yeah, jump in your lap.
That's like my fear is I'd have a cat that would want to like go and jump on all my TVs and stuff, and the TVs now are so thin.
We did. They would jump here, the TV here, and jump. Didn't you have walk around it? And
didn't you have an incident a few years back where you had to procure yourself a new television because
it was like
television died?
A year and a half, 2 years. No, it fell over. Yeah, it was on the ground. It's like the fuck out. Yeah.
Yeah.
So
that was. Do you think that was a cat? Now that you've calmed down from it,
I mean, it's possible. I just the way that I see what you're saying. Like the cats aren't that heavy, but I could see it happening. I could see him jumping and pushing it over or something.
I mean, some of these LG TVs I have are like
thin. Oh yeah, this one here is extremely thin. Yeah. Oh yeah.
All right, sir. We're going to conclude here. Any final thoughts? Things you need to discuss? Get off your chest or anything?
I think we're good right now.
You're good.
I think we're good. Yep.
Okay. Just double checking. All right, so this has been episode 19 on Second Thought. We'll catch you all in 2 weeks. Whether that's before Thanksgiving or after Thanksgiving, that is to be determined.
Maybe during.
That'd be a hell of a thing. Get the whole family to appear on the show.
Get the whole family in there on the show.
Yeah,
hey, Mike, you could live stream around upstairs and that. A microphone, go in people's faces, interview them and that.
We're having my cousins come over, and they have a 3-year-old child. And I've only ever seen this child one other time when they were like a baby. So I am, kids get stranger danger. I'm just, curious how all that's going to play out, seeing all these people that they haven't seen in for a while, The family is not as close as it once used to be with the passing of my grandparents. There's no longer these traditional family gatherings. So we would always go to you never had this like 2 weeks before Thanksgiving going, where the hell are we having Thanksgiving? We always knew where it was going to go, where it was going to be, right? So since their passing, within the last, 5 to 10 years, things are always now up in the air, subject to change. And of course, once you get married, then in-laws come into play and people can't always go as freely as they once used to. So this, a long-winded way of saying that this is my cousin's child that I've only met one time, and he's 3. But in traditional years, I would have seen him at Easter, at Thanksgiving, and Christmas, 4th of July, et cetera, et cetera. So,
real quick, is anyone staying overnight? Is anyone staying overnight at the house?
No. There's people, I think the farthest commute anybody has is my brother who lives like 2.5, 3 hours away in Western Mass. I think, but his kids and wife are going to visit his in-laws. Actually, his oldest daughter is in the Macy's Day Parade with the UMass Amherst Band.
Oh,
so she'll be in New York City playing. And then his wife and other child are going to Pennsylvania to visit her mother. So he's probably staying at my parents' house, if I had to guess. He's not doing the big drive. He'll probably come to my parents' house the day before, stay over, and then he'll come to my house and then probably head home.
Just wondering, have people over your house and wake up in the morning, and I could just see you wake up in the morning and there's people like already just lounging around and down here in your room messing around and sitting there and stuff. I could just imagine you experiencing that.
Well, just like you, I don't have any spare bedrooms, right? You don't have a spare bedroom.
No,
all your kids live at home. If someone wanted to come over,
Yeah.
either you're kicking your kids to the couch or they're sleeping on a couch.
Yeah, that's not going to happen. Neither one of those is going to happen. Yeah.
Yeah, I don't have any spare bedrooms as it is right now. Occasionally my son's bedroom is empty when he's away at college, but he'll be home by then.
Yeah.
No, we've never been. All our families always live close. I live 20, 25 minutes from my parents. So that will be an interesting thing in and of itself because they don't like to drive now after dark, and it gets dark here by 5 o'clock. 4:30, 5 o'clock. So we'll see how late they stay on Thanksgiving. And I got to determine, do I got to have people over early because they don't want to drive home in the dark? And neither one of them are very mobile at this stage in their life. They're only in their mid-70s. But just genetically, my mother has bad knees that she inherited from her mother. So she has a real hard time getting around. So I'm going to have to figure out how I'm getting her in the house. She just has a real hard time with steps. Just like lifting her legs up. You know what I mean? She's not she's not fat, obese, or out of shape or anything like that. Her knees point into each other. So her legs, her knees, and I don't know how to describe it, but her legs are very fucked up looking. It's sad, but so yeah, I don't know how she's getting in the house. That's why she doesn't come over much because I don't have a ton of steps, but I have steps. And I don't have it. The problem is it's been landscaped outside, the previous owners. So I don't have just 6, 7 steps and then you're right in the house. I got 6 or 7 steps and then you've seen pictures probably of the front of my house on Instagram.
Yeah.
You got this sort of layered landscape look to it, but there's no wrought iron. There's no railings that anybody hold on to. And that's a problem. So she's thinking of maybe coming in through the basement and using the railings to hold
get up.
But I have a lot of stairs in the basement, at least 13, 15 stairs.
Oh, wow.
I don't know. Need a gummy beforehand.
Ew.
to get through the day. Anyways, good chatting with you all. Hope you enjoyed the show.
Yep.
We'll be back in a few weeks. Take care, everyone.
You're trying to stack paper. That sounds real exciting.
He's talking about money.
Oh, money. Okay, yeah, okay, I got you.
Thanks for the translation, Mike.
I got you.
Yeah, I got it. Matt's a very literal person.
I thought maybe you actually had
a paper stacking company. Yeah, that's what I got, man. Oh my goodness.
Eric, did I tell you I just got a new printer? Can you send me some of that paper over?
Yeah, I got you, man.
God
Got
damn
me?
it.
All right.
Yeah, I got you covered, bro.